New on Curiosity Stream.
From time to time, we have collisions between asteroids and the Earth.
We track them, we study them, we hope the big one never comes. Don't look up, it's Asteroid Rush. And alligators. They rarely get sick. They even outlasted the dinosaurs. Could they hold the secret to human longevity?
Their blood could have antibacterial applications.
Wade into the investigation on immortal alligators. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit curiositystream.com.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
9.9 KISW. We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Okay, people from around the world, as they do the travels, they stop here in the United States of America and eat things that they think are just weird and disgusting.
I think the difference between most U.S. foods and foods you have overseas is that we eat so much processed or canned.
That is correct.
Right? So we kind of create weird things because we eat conveniently.
I will give you the food.
All right.
You tell me if you have eaten it or not.
Okay.
Okay.
These are the strange American foods.
These are, according to everyone
yeah.
else, yes,
Okay.
perceived strange American foods. We'll start with number one and work our way back because as far as the order goes, it gets more ridiculous as you get down to number one.
All right.
So Jell-O salad comes in at number one.
Yeah. I mean, not recently, but I've had it.
Jell-O with various types of salad in it. The worst one was with macaroni salad.
Ew. Ew. No, man.
Yeah, when I was a kid, like the women in my family loved that ambrosia salad.
Yes. Jesus.
Terrible.
Showed up
Now,
all the time.
Now, the Jell-O with the crushed up pretzels and the whipped cream, that's delicious.
That is good.
Who has had a Kool-Lickle?
Oh, Kool-Aid pickle.
That is right.
Yeah.
Pickles that are soaked in Kool-Aid.
Remember they were here.
Yeah.
Mike, we tried
I
it.
didn't try one.
You never did, huh?
No. How were they?
I think Miggs put it best. It's very weird because it's Kool-Aid. I don't know how to describe it. It's not. I didn't think it was bad. It was like basically like eating a pickle and then drinking Kool-Aid.
Exactly.
Has the pickle already been, quote, pickled? Or are you putting a cucumber into Kool-Aid?
No. It's a jar. They're pickles. They're already pickles, and then you're adding the Kool-Aid. The issue is that like neither flavor dominates.
No, they're two very separate flavors.
Yeah.
It tastes like he said, you put a pickle in your mouth and you're chewing on it and you're washing it down with some Kool-Aid at the same time.
No, thanks.
Number 3 on the list is turducken. It's a chicken put into a duck, which is then put into a turkey. This was shocking to a lot of people who traveled here.
Well, because it's ridiculous. It is, but it is good. I've had it before. It is very good.
I've never had turducken.
I never seen somebody do it.
I haven't
You
eaten.
need family in Texas. Yeah, I've had it. It's actually
That
seriously,
adds up.
like they just do it because they got nothing else to do but cook. It is good, but I guess if you're from anywhere else, it does sound ridiculous.
Chitterlings or chitlins. Fried pig intestines. And yes, they smell as bad as you imagine intestines smell.
Yes, I've had chitlins.
I have not had chitlins.
I have tried chitlins. My grandmother in Virginia used to love chitlins.
What do they look like?
What they are? I mean, it looks like...
So a tube of pig intestine?
Basically, I mean, you cut them up. So think more like if you had like calamari rings, right?
Okay.
So you cut it up, but it's intestines. I mean, it smells like it. They taste like it. They taste like exactly what they are, pig intestines.
How about,
Yeah.
all right, not the worst looking, but not the best looking.
No.
All right.
Mike's out.
Like, I remember there was a guy I used to work with, and he loved hog maws.
Oh, yeah. My grandfather loved hog maws.
Yeah. And, like, same thing. It doesn't look good, but it smells kind of vinegary. It's a little styrofoam cup. It's like, let me try some.
It wasn't that bad. It's really not. It's not something
What
I
is
would
it?
order. It's like the part of the jaw of a pig.
Well, typically,
Not
cheeks
the
and
cheek,
jaw.
though.
Well, close enough, though.
Right. It's like the cheeks are the really good part.
Right.
Hog maws somehow, like, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is like cheap. Like, we're just scraping stuff off here.
That is correct.
Has anyone tried Rocky Mountain oysters?
I've tried them.
Bull, sheep, or pig testicles?
We had bull.
And?
But it's one of those deals where I didn't think it was good or bad. It was just like, all right, these are all right. And then my brother, we were kids, he let me know you're eating bull testicles. And I was
Just the idea of cutting into that would be very problematic for me. I would feel a pain shoot down into my nether regions to actually slice with a knife into a testicle.
Oh, I would try them in a second.
Oh, yeah?
All right.
Well, it's fried. It just looks like something delicious in a fry platter.
I mean, right. Again, it's just more knowing what you have in your mouth is what's troubling.
These are some weird foods people from overseas or from other countries experience when they come to the United States. Number 6 is Spam. We've covered that. We all know what Spam is. 7 is pickled turkey gizzards.
turkey gizzards soaked in brine.
Again, on my mother's side, my grandparents, they're down with all that stuff.
Okay.
My grandfather was the same way. It was like a massive deal. Oh, no, why the gizzards? You know, I want to eat them later. And then after dinner, there'd just be this smell. Like, what is that smell? It's like grandma's frying up gizzards for granddad.
Yep.
Number 8 does not sound bad to me. I've never had one. A donut burger. Has anyone had where the donut replaces the bun on a hamburger? I know they have them at minor league baseball stadiums. Sure. I know that some fairs have them. Texas Fair probably has one.
Texas Fair. So we had a bacon queso, but it wasn't donut. The bun was like a funnel cake.
Huh.
So I've been very close, but I don't know that I've actually...
Was it
good? We split it between 3 dudes.
Okay.
It was so much.
I feel like I did. Like, I have a memory of maybe having a donut burger, but I don't remember for the life of me where or why I would have gotten it.
How about scrapples?
Scrapple?
Oh, scrapple, yeah.
Pork, scraps, and trimmings, cornmeal and flour, which is then loafed, sliced, and pan-fried to make this basically fried meatloaf.
Mm-hmm.
But scrapple's very tough, again, because it's jet black.
Right.
But in that Jersey, like Delaware, Eastern Shore of Maryland area, scrapple is massive.
It's huge.
Is that a breakfast food, typically?
Mostly, yeah.
Okay. And some people are really strict. I told you, my favorite one was I asked the lady as a kid, I said, we're in Ocean City, Maryland. I said, what's scrapple? Honey, it's parts of the pig you don't generally eat.
Oh, thank you.
She's honest.
I'll take the bacon.
10 is deep-fried butter. Butter covered in breading and then deep-fried.
Haven't had it. Sounds delicious.
Oh, by the way, the hogma, it's the lining of the pig's stomach.
All right. Ooh. That's all I was like, it's got to be something. Yeah, that didn't, yeah.
Reindeer hot dogs. Exactly what you think it is. A hot dog made out of reindeer meat.
I'm going to try it.
I've had reindeer sausage.
How was it?
Awesome.
Really?
But again, I'm a sausage apologist.
Burgoo. Does anyone know what burgoo is?
Burgoo?
Burgoo?
You think I would, but I do not.
Sounds Italian.
Some people make it differently. A traditional burgoo can have squirrel, possum, game bird, raccoon, or venison in it.
So roadkill. That's basically what I'm hearing here.
For the most part, that's burgoo. 13 is...
would you... Possum? If I say, man, my burgoo is specifically possum. I don't know what it is with possum. That is one animal I never want to eat.
Pickled pig feet. Yeah. This is the thing that used to haunt my nightmares as a child when I go to the bar with my dad and see that big jar of this at the end of the bar.
Yeah, the foot just floating in it. Again, my grandfather loved him.
Yeah, we tried them once for Stunts on a Dime, but I wouldn't eat them again.
Yeah, I don't need to do that again.
I really want to try one of those giant pickled eggs.
Pickled eggs?
Yep.
Yeah. I'm always tempted, but I'm like, how long has that egg been floating in that jar?
When's the last time you saw a jar of pickled eggs?
Never.
That's a good point.
Never. All these are foods that people from other countries find weird when they come to the United States. We know the McRib. We know the KFC Double Down.
Okay. You know, I never had a Double Down.
I have not either.
I didn't get one.
I had a double down.
I was.
Yeah.
It was hard to grip because the chicken is still deep fried and so it's hot as hell. And it is a grease bomb, but tug on it. It was good.
Okay.
Fried chicken gizzards. I've had gizzards. I guess they were fried, so I've eaten that.
All right.
17, one of my favorites, the Frito pie. Blew people's minds.
Frito pie is delicious.
Which is Fritos covered in chili and then cheese and sometimes onions.
Yeah. Just in the bag sometimes.
I like how people are, mind's blown with this one from other countries. The garbage plate. Typically in Rochester, New York.
Yeah, upstate New York.
What is it? Garbage plates, they say, are quite intricate. On the base, there are fries or home fries. Next, there is a layer of macaroni salad and or baked beans. So you can have both. On top of that is the choice of 2. Cheeseburger, hamburger, red or white hot dogs, Italian sausages, chicken tenders, haddock, fried ham, grilled cheese or eggs. And finally, on top of all this, onions, mustard, and Nick's signature hot sauce, which is a spicy ground meat sauce. All on top of one plate.
So if that's offered on the garbage plate, maybe just upstate New York's famous for those white hot dogs.
You know what, man?
Or there's like an English, there's got to be some influence.
Maybe that's it.
And one more that's worth noting, peanuts and Coke. You basically take your Coke.
Oh, yeah.
You dump peanuts in it. I've had it. I did not think it was bad at all. It's weird having something hard in your drink.
Sure.
Other than ice, but
another one that I heard from overseas, that over in Europe, they did not realize that peanut butter and jelly was such a major thing that we did over here, and they had no idea. They didn't understand why we would do it. Then a handful of people actually tried it. They're like, okay, you guys are onto something over there.
Yeah, PB&J shows up on a lot of those lists of like Europeans coming over here, and they're like, oh man, like I love it now.
It is delicious.
What's the most exotic or trashiest food that you eat or have eaten? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Brian. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
All right, so one thing we always had growing up in our fridge was chili spaghetti. And it's just what it is. It's spaghetti noodles with a chili dumped on it.
That was pretty typical also where I grew up in West Virginia. Either macaroni noodles as the base, but there was always some kind of noodle just based on our proximity to Ohio.
You put ketchup on it?
No, do not believe
We
so.
always put ketchup on ours.
Some people put ketchup in their chili, though. So that's kind of the part of the base of it.
But see, that doesn't sound bad. It sounds random, but it doesn't sound bad.
Fritos in there.
You put what else in there?
You could put Fritos in there, some cheese. Not so bad.
It does not sound bad.
I mean, really, 'cause, noodles don't really taste like anything except whatever you eat them with, right?
Matter of fact, I didn't realize chili was just served in a bowl until Wendy's came around, because every chili that we ever had growing up was on top of noodles.
Really?
I just assumed that was part of the deal.
So until Chili's or Wendy's said, hey, like, we serve chili.
Specifically macaroni noodles.
Huh.
So when you're done, you almost had like a chili mac.
You never had chili without noodles being involved.
Correct.
As a kid.
Correct.
Wow. That's nuts, man.
Well, it was an Italian family, so everything involved noodles.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm with Thrill. It was always just bowls.
Yeah, it was just bowls chili.
What's the most exotic or trashiest food that you eat or have eaten? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Tanya. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey.
Hola.
Hola, picholas.
Hola, Tanya.
So I had the wonderful experience of eating beaver.
I think everyone in this room can say the same thing.
That wasn't even the worst part. The worst part was later that night we found out that it was actually roadkill.
Does it matter at that point? What?
You know, that's not.
How was the beaver served? I mean, is it ground? There's no way to have this conversation.
Do they skin it? Is it?
It was cooked on a spit over a fire.
Huh. I wonder if, I guess the tail is probably not edible. Well, or is it the delicacy of the beef?
I've heard of some people that'll eat beaver tail. I feel like that actually is a part of it.
It is a part of it. Is it an edible part?
Right.
Of it?
I believe so, yeah.
Huh. How was the beaver? As far as on a 1 to 10 scale, what would you give it?
All right.
Tanya, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. How was it?
Very oily. It's not something I would recommend.
So you don't like eating beaver?
Not in the sense of over the campfire, no.
Gotcha. All right.
I'll do it anyway, but that's just me.
Camping, vacation.
I don't know. I mean,
Well, and also remember, Mike, the beaver tails are famous, but that's just a sweet treat.
Okay.
So they have like stands, and they like start in Canada, and they'll show up at like fairs. We talked about it. It's like
like elephant ear kind of thing.
Yeah, it's somewhere in that elephant ear funnel cake kind of realm.
All right.
Okay, I would try that. I don't know. I guess I would try a piece of beaver if someone offered it, but it could not be the main dish on my plate.
So if someone offered you some beaver, you would eat it?
It's very possible.
What's the most exotic or trashiest food that you eat or have eaten? 206-421-ROCK.
Depends who's offering. Hello, John. Welcome to the men's room.
Liquor and whores.
Liquor and whores. So what did you eat?
John?
It was basically fermented skate or stingray.
Fermented stingray?
Fermented.
Is that how it has to be? Is that how it has to be prepared to eat?
Oh, that's how it was prepared. I was stationed in Korea and was going out with this girl who was Korean, and we went to a restaurant. We ordered, and basically this dish was served. Started eating it, and it was nasty. It tasted like bleach and ammonia is the only way I can describe it.
So you didn't order this. Your food was brought to you.
Yes, I didn't order it. The girl I was with had ordered it, and she was eating it because I was eating it. I was eating it because she was eating it. And as we got to the end of it, we realized neither one of us liked it. It was very nasty.
What does it look like when it's served? I mean, does it look like a stingray on a plate or what?
No, it's a soup. So it's cut up. It's meat in a bowl with broth, kind of a milky color, and it was horrendous.
See, I couldn't have finished it. And then it
decided that neither one of us could finish it, but at the end we kind of realized each of us were only eating it because the other one was eating it.
And she's the one who ordered it. Mm-hmm. What does the meat look like?
It was like a fish. It was white with a skin, and just It was nasty.
Just didn't taste good. Huh.
Not at all.
Right.
I've had some of the other things. Some of the other callers have had. I've had dog and like tarantula and stuff, but this was by far the worst.
Well, typically there's a lot of rays in Seattle, or I'm sorry, in Florida, and they eat just about everything they pull out of the ocean down there, other than manatee,
right?
Which probably is delicious.
This was supposed to be like a delicacy, and it was nasty.
But they don't eat that.
Right.
And trust me, there's so many rays in Florida.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're protected or what the deal is, but you would think that if it was an edible thing that could be eaten, that they would be eating it.
Well, that's generally a sign you don't taste good, right?
Yeah.
That's why there's so many squirrel. You said you also had dog and tarantula. How was tarantula?
Actually, that was pretty good. It had it was like I guess grilled in a sauce. It was kind of like teriyaki tasting. That was actually pretty good.
It
was nasty.
Are the hairs burned off in the cooking process, or are you eating the fuzzy spider?
No, there was no hair. It was it looked like a tarantula, but it was kind of black, but it had like a teriyaki flavor to it. It's actually quite good.
Is it filling? In other words, would it be an appetizer? Would you get this as an entree?
Oh no, this was like a one on a stick. It was more like.
Of course, it is.
Okay.
A precursor.
How do you like your tarantula?
On a stick, of course.
How do you like it?
I think I would try it. My biggest, and again, because I would have to convince myself. Like again, we eat crabs,
but the difference is. When you eat crabs, you're eating the meat of the crab.
Correct.
If you eat,
soft shell crabs.
I was going to say, I think it was like a day before I got married or whatever. We're in Baltimore, Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
And Ryan is really, really hungover. We are all really, really hungover.
Very hungover.
The difference is we were still somewhat used to that heat and humidity.
Right. He was having a difficult time with all of it.
And if you have never been in August in Baltimore, it is just sweltering. So this restaurant isn't exactly the best air conditioned. It's an older building. Mm-hmm. It's a seafood house. We go down there, and it is soft shell crab season, which means you can eat through the shell. So the entire crab is on 2 pieces of bread.
Yeah, the legs
and
hang
the
out.
Arms and the legs and everything else stick out. Now, as soon as he saw this, I thought he was going to puke at the table. Matter of fact,
he turned ghost white.
He threatened. He left.
He physically got up
and left the restaurant so that we could eat these sandwiches because he thought he was going to go outside and throw up.
He was serious. He was pleading with us not to order them, right? Because he goes, "Well, what exactly are they?" And we said, "Dude, it's a soft shell crab. They give the whole thing and they just slap it between bread, right? And they deep fry it, whatever." And I remember him. He was pleading. He goes, "Guys, please don't order that." I'm like, "Castle, look, man, it's a seasonal thing. We happen to be here. I'm going to order it because I'm not going to have one again for years, right?" And the waitress brought these things out, put them down.
You got to remember these legs are hanging out.
And Castle looked at this. He turned so white, got real ill looking, and he's like, "I'm leaving." Mm-hmm. And that was it.
I came back about a half hour later.
It is disgusting. I think I had to be 16 or 17 before I started eating them.
Oh, yeah.
My dad would eat them when I was a kid, and we were like, "Oh, my God, no."
But either way, based on that, maybe I would try fried tarantula.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Just tell myself, all right, it's a land crab.
I know I can eat the legs. I don't want to bite in the middle too much, but what is the most exotic or trashiest food that you eat or have eaten? 206-421-ROCK.
99.9 KISW. The men's room returns with Miles and Thrill.
Let's go to some of the foods that people from other countries find strange about the United States when they visit here. Here are some of the world's most expensive foods.
Okay.
Saffron. Takes more than 75,000 flowers to harvest 1 pound of saffron.
Jesus.
So it's pretty expensive. Then we have Da Hong Pao tea. 30 times the price of gold. What? The mineral-rich water in which the tea trees grow gives it unique flavor. There are not many of these trees left, which is making it already the more pricey teas even more expensive.
Okay.
There's a thing called a bonnet potato. It's a small round potato with fragile skin that can only be harvested by hand just 15 days a year. And it's only grown on one small island in the world.
Really? What's it called again?
It's called a bonnet potato.
What island?
Normatir, small island measuring barely 50 kilometers.
Damn.
It's home to what many people describe as the best potatoes in the world. We know Kobe or Wagyu beef.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's on the list. Nearly $200 per pound as it retails. Some cuts sell for up to $300 for a single steak, depending on the level you get. You mentioned caviar. There is almas caviar, a rare species of fish, the albino beluga sturgeon.
Oh, of course.
Which only swims in Iran's Caspian Sea.
It regularly sells for more than U.S. $30,000 per pound.
Damn.
Due in part to the rarity of the fish, which also must be between 60 and 100 years old to be harvested.
Huh.
There is Alba's white truffle. That is a variety of mushroom that grows up to 30 centimeters underground. It is different. Some say it's impossible to grow, which explains the price. It is the most expensive variety, along with the white truffle. In 2019, you could sell a kilo for $4,200 here in the United States. There is an espresso coffee at trendy third-wave coffee shops. You haven't seen anything yet. This coffee sells for about $100 per cup in the United States.
Jesus.
The price may be surprising, but its origin even more so. The coffee beans are extracted from the feces of a small Indonesian mammal.
Is that the civet cat stuff, the civet cat poop?
This is a different one.
How many beans were we pulling out of poop?
I don't know. There is fugu fish. Has to be prepared with great care. One wrong move can prove fatal. 2 to 10 people die of it every year, so it needs an expert to prepare it safely. There is basically a black watermelon that grows in Asia. Those can run at about $2,000 per melon. They're very rare and only grow on one island in the world.
Huh.
Thing called pool cheese, made with milk from an endangered species of donkey and produced on a small farm in Serbia.
Come on, Shrek.
It is the
pulling my
world's
nipples.
most expensive cheese. Since it takes more than 25 pounds to produce one keg of this cheese, it's easy to understand why it costs about $1,325 per pound.
I also understand why they gave it a name other than donkey cheese.
There's a chicken in Indonesia, a variety of chicken that is completely black from head to tail, and even includes its internal organs, which are also black. This unique creature has another unusual trait. They're worth about $2,500 each.
Damn.
If you're to get chicken at dinner. Iberico ham.
Uh-huh.
Yep. Edible gold. Another Japanese watermelon that could sell up to $200.
They're the square ones?
The square ones, or have you had the yellow ones?
No.
Yeah, sometimes the flesh, I got it out in the market, the flesh is just yellow.
Really? I don't know if those are
Tastes
the
the
square
same,
ones
it
or
just
not.
seemed exotic.
Okay.
Madagascar vanilla.
Sure.
Moose cheese. Valued at approximately $1,100 per pound. And then hand-seeded red currant jam, produced in France. A small jar of this jam retails for about $235. And the recipe is a closely guarded secret. But one step they know for sure, the seeds of each currant are removed manually using a goose feather.
Oh, of course. I mean,
what is the most exotic or trashiest food you eat or have eaten? 206-421-ROCK.
hello, Mandy. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bitches.
Hola!
I thought my battery was going to die before y'all got to me.
Well, hopefully it doesn't.
I would have to say the trashiest food I've ever eaten is potted meat.
Potted meat? Like meat out of a can?
Yes, it's meat out of a can. The main ingredient is beef tripe. So it's basically when the cow is processed, all the leftover meat, like the intestine, is ground up and canned. And, I'm from Trailer Park in Alabama, so we ate it on mayonnaise sandwiches.
Oh, jeez, man.
What about barbecue? Alabama's
You're in
famous for
Alabama.
barbecue.
You got a lot of good food. Why'd you go potted meat?
Well, again, I grew up in a trailer park, so not a lot of people around.
Yeah.
Yeah, and barbecue's still that's like a festive thing.
It is festive, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Maryland's famous for crab cakes, but we're talking about microwaving hot dogs.
Well, yeah, exactly.
But when you eat any kind of meat from a can, other than tuna, I'm talking about anything other than a fish product, sardines, which are still gross.
Chicken.
Meat, it's not bad.
What?
It's still just not good. It's just the packaging process of meat being in a can is terrible.
I'm inclined to agree. I don't know what the difference is with tuna, but somehow that seems okay. Do you remember we tried, I don't know if we even tried it, but there was the whole chicken in the can.
We did not try it, but we opened it and looked at it.
It was, I cannot explain.
Whole chicken.
It is unbelievable.
In a can.
And you kind of dump it out and it kind of reinflates itself, kind of. I mean, that's a weird.
Potted meat, whatever, anything that has that little devil on it.
Oh, yeah.
What's that brand? Is it Devil's Made or something?
It is. It is made from the devil. The devil actually did. That's one thing that the devil has put on this planet.
Right.
What's the most exotic or trashiest food that you eat or have eaten? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Steve. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bitch, hola.
Hola.
So, I was a young kid when we first moved to England, and I had a plate put in front of me with an English breakfast, and I recognized the eggs, and I recognized the bacon and the potatoes, but then there's this stuff that they call black pudding, and it looked kind of just like sausage, medallions or whatever, and I'm like, you're thinking, well, this isn't pudding, not in the way, American kids would think of pudding, so they're kind of tricking you, It's like, well, why don't they call it what it really is? So, in our family, it was one of the, you have to at least try it. If you try it and you don't like it, then okay, you don't have to. So I tried it, and it wasn't that bad. It was, kind of salty or whatever. But it was after I'd finished eating it that my mother, who was born in England and so knew what it was or whatever, said, did you like the blood sausage? And I was like, what? Yeah, it's sausage made from blood. And I was like, oh, I see why you call it black pudding, because you got to trick people into eating it.
Steve, just so you know, your phone makes you sound like the next villain in a Marvel flick.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, I'm talking a fan of
red and white sausage, because when I first got stationed in Germany in '86, they have these snack stands, Imbus, it's called, snack stands, where you got red sausage, white sausage. And for the first 3 or 4 months, I was just looking at the white sausage all suspicious, like what is that, And I would always just get the red sausage, but then one day I was drunk enough to say, hey, let me try that white sausage or whatever. And, man, I tried it, and it was delicious. It was one of the best things I ever put in my mouth.
Dude, I'm with you. The white ones, I never had till, I don't even know if it's been a year yet, but I was in Milwaukee, and we were at a German beer hall that came on the platter, and I was like, screw it. I've had a few things of beer, I'll try it. And I was like, oh my God, can't believe I'm hiding.
Wait, is it still pork?
Don't know.
Yeah.
It is. Okay.
It tastes just like the most tender, delicious, perfectly seasoned pork chop you might ever have.
Oh, that sounds great.
Okay. By the way, Steve, you should read children's books. That's, you got the voice for it. I'm just saying.
Or audiobooks on tape.
Or maybe be the voice of a new Sesame Street character.
What's the most exotic or trashiest food that you eat or have eaten? 206-421-ROCK.
By the way, people have chimed in to let us know the name of the company of your potted meat with the little red devil. Any memory of it?
Red devil?
Underwood.
Underwood.
Underwood. Now we know.
That guy talking about the puddings, I told you I had a buddy, we would get up and go watch soccer from Europe. So he loved getting the full English breakfast, right? Which, again, awesome. But one day he's just popping those puddings, and he's, God, I love these. And I just kind of nonchalant, I was like, you know what they are, right? And he's like, I don't know. And then I told him, and then he couldn't eat them again.
But you ruined it for him. So he's been popping these things for years, and now, as soon as you told him it's over.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, he's right. As a kid, not understanding English terms for food. What's the Pink Floyd songs? Another brick in the wall, and he's screaming like, how can you eat your pudding if you don't eat your meat? But in my mind, I'm like, that's so backwards. Right? Like, why is this guy screaming about it? It didn't make sense. I'm like, of course kids want the pudding. Why would you make him eat meat?
Then you realize what it is.
Right. Then when I got older, I'm like, now it makes a lot more sense.
What's the most exotic or trashiest food that you eat or have eaten? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Frank. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bitches!
Hola!
Hey, when I grew up, I was a young man in the Midwest in Omaha, Nebraska, and worked in a slaughterhouse, killing cattle. So my dad worked on the kill floor, my brother worked in the blood pit, I worked down the hide cellar. So whenever you had any problems with anybody, you'd go up and steal a couple of cattle tongues off the racks. And then you'd go off in the corner and put one in each hand and fire.
Once again, bedroom tellers, here are the 7 words you can't say on the radio. Sucker, mother, and please keep those words in mind when calling. Now, back to the program.
Okay, Frank, no brown words there. But let me
get...
So you guys would each get 2 cow tongues and basically do a slap fight with cow tongues.
You betcha. And they're so rough and coarse, they'll take your skin off.
Ooh.
So you know, when you have a problem with somebody else, instead of stabbing each other with the knives you all carry, you just go get a couple cattle tongues and have at it. And then they take the tongues, because they can't throw them back on the line. They take the tongues home, and they'd fillet them all up. And the next day they'd bring them in, and we put them in wrap, and they fillet them real thin with veggies and stuff. Put them in a foil wrap and put them up on top of steam pipes. And we'd have them for chow the next day.
You were living a truly aristocratic life right there. So after you beat each other with cow tongues,
so you wouldn't kill each other,
right? So how often did this happen?
There was I worked in the hide cellar, so I was the only white boy. So we probably had differences of opinion maybe once every 3 weeks that had to get settled.
All right, now, is this, when you get hired there, is this something they explain to you like, hey, look, man, everybody here's got a big attitude, you're going to get angry at each other, but as a rule, you can't stab each other, which is fair enough, but you grab a cow tongue and then you commence to beating each other. I mean, do they explain this, or did it just happen one day?
No, you just learn it through attrition. I watched a couple guys go at it with a knife in each hand because they weren't playing, and the way they broke it up was the foreman came out of his hooch and grabbed the bobcat with the bucket and went and scooped them up off the ground when they were rolling around trying to stab each other, and then drove them over to the hide tracer and dumped them into the brine pit. That's how he broke up the knife fight.
How long did you work in this glorious place?
My dad worked the kill floor for 19 years. I was in high school. I started when I was a young man. I worked there for 5 years in the hide cellar. My little brother was smaller than me. He worked in the blood pit for 2 years.
Did anybody get sick working around all these animals like that?
No, it actually made you stronger because you got exposed to everything you can imagine.
I would imagine. All right. Now, were you based on having that job? I'm just thinking like Rocky. Did you have steak for dinner? Did you have hamburger?
All right.
Were you able to at least take some of the meat home and eat well when you got there?
Yeah, it was the largest kill facility in the world licensed here in the U.S., so it was the cleanest. They had separate lines for kosher. They had separate lines for everything else under the sun, and they had a separate finishing line so the employees could buy their own. Best meat, chow, anything that you can imagine. It was amazing.
So where was that located, by the way?
Omaha, Nebraska.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
And Omaha Steaks. What do you do now for a living?
I work for the G.
You work for the government?
Yep.
Okay.
You teach us cow tongue combat, I'm guessing.
That's just a strange thing to put on your resume. My brother worked in the blood pit.
Right.
I worked in the skin room. So where do those hides go? Do they go to belt manufacturers, shoe manufacturers? Who is buying that product?
Everything under the sun. You name it. Hides are being used for all kinds of stuff. We'd be down the hide pit, and I'd be pulling them up and hooking them through an eye hole on the line, so it goes down to the fat trimmers. And when they come down and they start trimming them up with the blades, if you saw them with the what do they call it when you have like bumps on your skin?
Goosebumps.
They're not like meat. I don't remember. They make penicillin out of them. So you'd get a large hide like off of a big old steer, and it'd come down there, and you'd see all these bumps on this hide, and the whistles would go out. The foreman come out of the shack. They'd cut that thing down, and they'd trim all of those bumps off the hide, put them in a big old Ziploc bag, and that would go to the medicine world for penicillin.
Damn. Wow. And then the hide would go to what? Your new boots?
Yeah, go to your new boots, go to making leather seats, go to everything.
Horse saddles, I'm assuming?
Right. I guess it's made of leather.
Yeah. That's crazy. I mean, you're using the full animal.
No doubt about it.
Right.
Nothing was wasted.
Okay, what about the blood pit? Who gets that?
The blood pit is the cattle come in through the pens and with the shocker, and they go up single file, and they can smell the death, so they don't want to go there, but they have to. They come into in a stall, and it's all steel on all four sides, and one side of the stall is on a pivot, and there's a guy up above that has a .22 caliber pin gun, like you see on the movies now, where they talk about the
Well, I get that. What I'm saying is, what do you do with the blood?
The blood?
Who buys the blood? Is that just waste, or who do you sell it to?
Well, it just depends. A lot of the blood ends up on the floor, and you got to squeegee it out and stuff like that. But if you collect the blood, then it goes through a decon process, and they'll use it in whatever they can, however they can. Waste nothing.
Okay. Wow. That is a crazy high school job.
Yeah, that's all I can think is that's not a job I want.
And when you come home, how does everyone smell? You got a brother who works in the blood pit.
Right.
You got another guy who works, and then your dad's a butcher, basically.
That's a beefy smelling family.
What is the most exotic or trashiest food that you eat or have eaten? 206-421-ROCK.
Every time I come over here, I just feel the need for a steak.
Don't know what it is, man. Man, you smell like a baseball glove. What's up with that? I have a new appreciation for penicillin.
Yeah, no kidding.
I had no idea. That is so gross. There's a bag of cow bumps. Hello, Raymond. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, gentlemen.
Hola.
I was born and raised in Pennsylvania and Scrapple.
Oh, yeah.
That's all I got to say.
Have you been able to find that out here?
Sure. Hatfield Scrapple.
So you have been able to buy it out here?
Oh, yes. I have it every Christmas.
Okay. Do you order it, or is it available in some specialty grocery store, like, I don't know, an Amish grocery store, Keystone grocery store?
Stewart's down in McKenna,
All right.
Washington.
Look, if you want something, it seems like Seattle, there's some place that has it.
Sure. You can find, it's just not prevalent. Because, in PA, you went to the grocery store and there's Scrapple every goddamn year. There's probably, 10 different brands to pick from, I'm guessing.
My favorite food, there's a couple, but as far as Pennsylvania that I thought was unique, was pierogies.
Yeah.
Those are the few things, and pierogies are just potato, I don't know. How would you describe
a potato dumpling, essentially.
Yeah. Some have cheese, but for the most part, it's just normally potatoes and pierogies, right?
Yeah, that's what I remember.
But they're fried. You fry them.
They're dense. They're heavy, but they're good.
Yeah.
Real simple, but they're good. I will give Pennsylvania credit, man. Their highways suck, but their food is good. Mm-hmm. Like, everything is heavy. Everything is dense, right? You never leave Pennsylvania and go, man, I'm hungry.
There's
it's also weird where you find stuff, right? Like, I love Taylor ham, which is pork roll.
Yeah.
And I think you can get it at some stores outside the city. But, I go to, the fancy Italian deli in the market.
Mm-hmm.
De
Laurentiis.
And you could buy a actual roll of it. And it's funny, every time I get it, the lady's like, what part of New Jersey are you from?
Close
Mid-Atlantic, Maryland. She's like, all right.
Well, different companies have different products. There's the one plant, it's kind of near Shenandoah or Allentown or Scranton, Pennsylvania. It's Mrs. T's.
Yeah.
That's the only brand of pierogi I've ever had.
They do pierogies and they do Bloody Mary mix.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
In the plant.
And they made a fortune.
Two things. Dumplings and Bloody Mary mix.
And somebody's a multi-millionaire as a result.
One has nothing to do with the other.
And somebody's mom or grandma was clearly a drunk.
Mm-hmm. What's the most exotic or trashiest food that you eat or have eaten? You are listening to The Men's Room.